Hey guys, it's your girl LA from Adventures of Fearless Faith, and I'm hanging out with my family today here in Houston, Texas. Guys, it is hella hot, and when it's hot in Texas, you find the nearest swimming hole to get in and get into, and so that would be my hanging out with my son and his family today. So, but listen, my first grandbaby. But listen, guys, check out this video that I did of my recent visit to San Diego, where I spent time with my daughter and her beautiful family and our second grandbaby. So listen, pray for us here in Texas. A lot of people still don't have lights, and guys, it is hot as Hades. So anyway, I love you guys. Stay in faith, ride safe, and hydrate. Peace out.
Peace out! Cheese! No!
So with things heating up in Houston, Texas, I'm talking triple digits, I decided to trade my wheels for wings and head to San Diego, California to visit my daughter and my son-in-law and our second grandbaby. Hadn't seen her since her first birthday, which was back in January, and so I wanted to spend a little time with them before my husband jets off to do the 10-day motorcycle chapter ride to the Harley Davidson I think it's the 120th anniversary. So he's going to be riding in Milwaukee doing that. So, you know, grandmama got to do her own thing, which was go and see the grandbaby. So, but this place was absolutely gorgeous. The architectural design of it and just the history of it was absolutely gorgeous. It is California's first mission, San Diego mission, and it was founded in 1769 by Spanish Padre Junipero. I guess I'm pronouncing it right. And it's located in a part of San Diego that's called Mission Valley, San Diego. And it was just beautiful. It's nestled on a hill among interesting tall cactus plants everywhere, and just just the peace and the serenity that was there was absolutely gorgeous. And I just love getting a glimpse of the architectural features that the mission had. Beautiful doors, tall doors. I love the dark browns. And it really gave me some cool ideas because I want to build a prayer chapel on our property when we build in the country. And so this gave me an opportunity to kind of, get some ideas on how I would like my little prayer chapel to look. So this was really cool. It was a little small museum that kind of gave you a glimpse of the events that took place when this mission was founded. Padre Jamie, he was actually one of the first martyrs that was killed in a midnight raid, and his body was actually buried under the altar at the mission, which is still there. And I think they said the altar was built in 1813 and it was restored in 1931. And so one of many highlights was seeing how they actually slept and how they spent their evenings, which this is part of the old monastery, but this is kind of gives you an idea or a glimpse of how their living quarters actually looked. And it did have some artifacts that they used in farming and working with the land. Now, one of the things that my son-in-law expressed to me, he was like, you have to go to see this mission and you have to spend time in their rose garden. And so that was one of the beautiful highlights that I enjoyed, is seeing the tall rose garden that they had. I mean, they had to be at least 4 feet tall, the rose bushes, and they were absolutely gorgeous. They were kind of on the end of their growth period, so a lot of them were in full bloom. They had shed their petals, but man, you could still see how gorgeous and voluptuous and just vibrant they were. And so, I mean, you could actually sit in this little rose garden all day long and just kind of take in the sights and meditate and pray, and it was absolutely gorgeous. The grandbaby, she kind of walked around and looked at all the flowers and everything, and that was absolutely gorgeous to watch her look at the flowers that were taller than she was. And again, this really gave me some wonderful ideas for my little prayer chapel that I want to build on our property. And you really can't go anywhere in California without seeing a cactus. And these were huge, huge, towering cactus plants. And I'm sure they had to be years old. And I'm sure they have some stories to tell as well. But again, I just love the elements. This beautiful, tall crucifix on the wall. Everything was just gorgeous. I mean, it just really made you stop and take in everything. The Stations of the Cross that was done in a tile mosaic. It was gorgeous. My mother-in-law, if she was alive, she was Catholic, she would have thoroughly enjoyed just being here and sitting in the garden and looking at the roses and meditating and praying. And this was one of my favorite statues, seeing the Pieta. This is actually one of my favorite statues. Had to take a video of this because just the elements were absolutely gorgeous. And these right here were actually choir stalls. I was kind of like, okay, wow, that is interesting. What are they exactly? And after doing some research, it is a choir stall. And that altar back there is historically old, dating back to the 1300s. And that was actually the St. Francis Chapel that had the raised choir stalls in it. And the cool thing about this mission, it is an active Catholic church. And so people come, they have mass on, I think, Saturdays and Sundays. And so this little chapel was actually gorgeous. And you could just smell the incense, as you were in there. And so, and the artifacts and the rosary on the back of the chair that someone had left there. And then we entered where they actually have mass on Sundays. Oh my goodness, just listen. Wow, this is gorgeous. So as I looked up, I noticed this colorful canopy, and after doing some research, I found out that it identifies this mission as a basilica, which is a church of important historical significance. It is also an honor bestowed upon the church by the Pope. The canopy is in the papal colors. And as we were leaving, still some more historical facts of just where they slept, where they worked, and just little plaques of significance that you could read and and get more history on the mission. But it was absolutely gorgeous, very very quiet, and I love the five bell tower up there, which is I think they call it a campanata, which they ring those bells back in the day to signify it was time to work, it was time to eat, or it was time to pray. And again, look at these doors. And these are just some photos of some of the beautiful little details that was nestled and tucked into the mission as you walk through. But I had a wonderful time, and I'm looking forward to seeing more, taking in more sights of San Diego and playing with that beautiful grandbaby of mine. But yeah, Texas is hot, but I was blessed to be able to take in this beautiful mission and walk its grounds and see the history and spend some time with those that I love. If it's hot in your neck of the woods and you're taking a break, how are you spending this riding season?